Sometimes I just look at these movies and I'm just like, why? Coffee is liquid duct tape. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you do not know who I am Amber Rose. I am the religious hippie. You can basically find me on any social media platform. All you have to do is type in the religious hippie or click the links below in the description. Alright, so in this video today what we're going to be doing is going over two things. The first thing are movies and TV shows that I have watched that I regret watching now that I am back in the Catholic Church. And the second part is going to be movies and TV shows I will never watch as a Catholic. So yeah, that's what we're going to be going over today. So why is it really important that we filter out what we watch, see, and hear? Well, the Bible says in Matthew 6:22, "The light of thy body is thy eye. If thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be lightsome." This is the Dewey Reams version, just so you know. But basically what it means is what we see affects our soul and how we view God. So that's a little foundation for this video because it truly is important about what we see and hear and object ourselves to in this very, very corrupt and broken world. So let's get started. Number one, the first TV show. Yes, it's a TV show. I had to think about that for a second. The first TV show I regret watching is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Now this is based off the Archie comics of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, TV, rom-com, whatever. And Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which was an older com thing and the cat was fake puppet looking thing, that was a pretty good show. I'm just saying, it was made for kids and teens. I mean, I don't watch it now because it's not appealing to me. But Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is dark. I'm going to read you guys the description that Netflix gives for The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Magic and mischief collide as half-human, half-witch Sabrina navigates between two worlds, mortal teen life and her family's legacy, the Church of Night. Now, the first episode, basically the pilot episode, is called October Country. Cute, right? Like cute, you know? It gives off fall vibes, it gives off this and that. What's the second episode called? The Dark Baptism. At this point, they're not even hiding it. You know, it's extremely satanic. It has so much dark, gruesome stuff in it. I don't know how I honestly stomached watching it, but before coming back to the Catholic Church, I really was into all of that stuff very strongly. And it was just so not good for me. But it's so immoral. They basically, I'm not going to go into detail because it is very graphic and disgusting. Basically, her best friend, who she also really likes, his brother gets killed in a mining accident. She tries to raise him from the dead, but she forgets to bring back his soul, so he's basically a walking, talking zombie. There's all this stuff. It's not as bland as I'm making it seem. It is dark. It is satanic. It is gruesome. And the only reason, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I started watching it was because Ross Lynch was in it, and I was a sucker for Ross Lynch as a teenager. Yikes. So anyway, as the series progresses and goes on and everything, it just gets worse and worse. And I was a little PO'd, actually, because one of the main characters' name is Ambrose, and I was just like, is that like a diss? Like, I'm not saying it is or anything, but I just thought to myself now, like when I was going through all of these, like St. Ambrose, like I know Ambrose isn't a very common name, and for them to use it in like a satanic TV show, I don't know, I was just totally put off by that. Also because it's half my name. So yeah, needless to say, horrible TV show, do not recommend, extremely dark, satanic, gruesome. Ugh. Alright, number two, this one is called Riverdale. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Riverdale by now. It's an Archie comic as well, and basically supposed to be in the same world as The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's supposed to be based in the same world somehow. I don't know how that works. This is the description for Riverdale. While navigating the troubled waters of sex, romance, school, and family, teen Archie and his gang become entangled in a dark Riverdale mystery. Nope. So obviously from the description, it's not exactly appropriate for young teens, adolescents to be watching. It basically pushes sex before marriage on a lot of younger audiences, which unfortunately is a very common thing these days, and it causes broken families. There was an issue with Archie and his teacher. Basically, he had a relationship with an older teacher, and he was like a sophomore in high school or something, and she ended up getting killed. There was like a lot of messed up stuff. And all I can say, it was entertaining for all the wrong reasons. I mean, here's these kids that are supposed to be in sophomore getting killed, beat up, part of satanic rituals. Like, at one point, Archie was a part of like an underground fighting rink or something where he almost dies and they have to break him out. It's just a really messed up show, but not to mention the storyline didn't even make any sense. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has said this, but it doesn't make sense. The writers are basically just going as they go. I couldn't really follow the storyline. It was a very abrupt change in certain areas and things just didn't make sense. I basically stopped watching it after the second season. I was just like, this is confusing. It's not even really a good storyline. The actors are And yeah, just not a show I would recommend. Now, this is a show that I actually had a lot of Catholic friends get upset that it was on my list, and it's Jane the Virgin. And I had a lot of Catholic friends that really liked this show, and I personally cannot see why. I'm not bashing anyone who watches these shows or anything, but I'm just trying to give a little bit more insight to really make you guys think about the things you're seeing and putting into your brains and stuff, because it does affect us. It does. So this one's Jane the Virgin. So the description for it is, after vowing to remain chaste until marriage, Jane learns she's pregnant due to a medical slip-up and has to rethink her future. Basically, the medical slip-up was that Raphael, who was a guy she met in a coffee shop once, had a wife named Petra. Petra wanted kids, Raphael didn't. She ended up wanting them like inseminated, basically, like, you know, IVF. And Raphael didn't know about it, blah, 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 which I don't know how you don't know about that. But Jane and Petra ended up getting mixed up when they had the exact same doctor, who was actually Raphael's sister, and she was drunk when she did the procedure. There's this whole thing. It's really dumb. Honestly, I'm really not one for dramatic TV shows like that, like telenovelas. Like, it's not my thing, but I did watch it basically until the end. I stopped watching it though. Obviously, I got rid of Netflix. In the beginning though, I did actually enjoy the show a little bit. It was a little dramatic for my taste, and I didn't agree with the IVF and things like that, but I did enjoy the storyline and the characters. I liked the fact that she was raised Catholic, you know? However, as the story progressed, it was evident that they were actually giving the Catholic a bad rep. Basically, the grandma was a devout Catholic, however, didn't go about it the right way, in a sense where she ended up basically invoking this Catholic guilt onto Jane. It was very interesting to see. But then as the TV show progressed, Grandma ends up lightening up about this whole sex before marriage thing and ends up doing it herself, and there's a lot of immoral things that go on in that. And the thing that actually keeps her a virgin is basically her Catholic guilt. It's not actually for the reasons that it should be, because she was about to do it once, which I don't promote sex before marriage at all, but you should know why instead of being guilted into not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. It really just rubbed me the wrong way and how they portrayed the Catholic Church through this telenovela. Now, this one isn't very well known, but I had to put it on here. And that one's The Secret Life of an American Teenager. 15-year-old Amy ends up pregnant after one night at band camp. Don't go to band camp, kids. Throwing her whole life upside down, it doesn't help that she's now going to school with that guy. Okay, there are a number of horrible things in this show. Sex before marriage. These kids are 15, sophomores in high school, if that, and she was pressured into having sex with this guy. I do like the fact that she did keep the baby. Yes, like, awesome, pro-life. But she's so immature throughout the whole thing. She basically puts the baby on her parents and is like, here, take care of it. I have school and this and that. And then her mom's like, you have to get a job. I can't take care of the baby. And then her sister's having this whole issue. It's very confusing for young adults, and it's targeted towards teenagers. So basically during this one part, when has the baby, whatever, she has a boyfriend named Ben. And her and Ben are really close, but she still wants Ricky, who's the father, to be a part of the baby's life, basically. Ben gets jealous. He ends up having sex with Adrienne, who is Ricky's ex-girlfriend. He gets her pregnant, so now he has a pregnant girlfriend, but also this random girl he just got pregnant. Well, not random, but you know what I mean. How messed up is that? There's a lot of cheating, there's rivalries, there's jealousy, it's a warped view of God. It's just, it's a mess, honestly. And I feel so bad for any young teens who got any of their information from this show, because it's so warped and uneducational. Like, I got nothing. All right, we're on number 5, and yikes. This was a show I loved so much. So much. And I can't tell you why I loved it so much, because looking back on it, it really wasn't that good, but I was obsessed with this show. It's Supernatural. I loved this show. And the fact that I was into a lot of this stuff back in my teens, it makes sense why I liked it a lot. I mean, 2 hot guys going around killing demons, saving women, like, heck yeah. So now I shall read you the description. 2 brothers follow their father's footsteps as hunters, fighting evil supernatural beings of many kinds, includes monsters, demons, and gods that roam the earth. I loved Supernatural. I truly did. I thought it was one of the one of the best shows out there on, you know, CBS, whatever it was on. But we have to come to terms with a lot. It's satanic. I mean, there are satanic rituals, there are things that they do that are satanic, there are, you know, and they make demons seem as though they have feelings and can care about you, and they can't. They can't. There are a few episodes where they portray the Catholic Church badly. Sexual and immoral things are consistent through the movie, especially with Dean. I don't know so much about Sam, but with Dean there's quite a few. They glorify a lot of occult practices, and at some point, Dean even goes to hell and he's brought back. It's like, that's not how that works. There's like this whole thing. It has a warped view of who God is, and basically I believe they do bring God into an episode, like as a person. That's not how that works. Overall, it's just gruesome and unnecessary, and as much as I loved it as a teenager, now that I understand that side of the world, like the supernatural side of things, it's easy to see that what they were getting into and stuff was quite satanic, and we really shouldn't be watching or subjecting ourselves to that stuff as Catholics. Number 6, I already did a whole video on, but it's Harry Potter. I'm just going to read you the description. Harry Potter is an orphan boy brought up by his unkind muggle aunt and uncle. At the age of 11, half-giant Rubeus Hagrid informs him that he is actually a wizard and that his parents were murdered by an evil wizard named Lord Voldemort. Voldemort also attempted to kill 1-year-old Harry on the same night, but his killing curse mysteriously rebounded and reduced him to a weak and helpless form. Harry became extremely famous in the wizarding world as a result. Harry begins his first year at Hogwarts, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and learns about magic. During the year, Harry and his friends Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger become entangled in the mystery of the Philosopher's Stone, which is being kept within the school. Alright, lots of information there. I know I just kind of rambled through it. I already did a whole video on this, so I'm going to post the link to the video in the description below. But basically, to sum it up, Harry Potter is witchcraft and wizardry. Witchcraft is satanic. There is no such thing as white witchcraft. There is no such thing as good witchcraft. A lot of the spells in Harry Potter are real, and one lady actually almost burned her house down casting one of them. I forget where it was exactly, but if you look it up, you'll find it. And a lot of the names in Harry Potter are actually demon names that are from the 7 layers of hell or whatever. So overall, would not suggest. I know there are a lot of Potter fans out there, and I'm not bashing anyone. Again, for those who always come at me for bashing people who watch these shows, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm just bringing awareness that you guys really do need to watch what you are watching because it impacts us. All right, number 7. This is going to be the last one on the list of shows I regret watching. And that's Hunger Games. Yeah. Katniss Everdeen voluntarily takes her younger sister's place in the Hunger Games, a televised competition in which 2 teenagers from each of the 12 districts of Panem, I said it right, are chosen at random to fight to the death. I never particularly cared for Hunger Games. I had a lot of friends that were really into it. I ended up reading the books, and I did enjoy the books quite a bit, but it's dark. I mean, kids against kids killing each other. They had to fight to the death to survive, and this was all for the entertainment of people higher up. Overall, while the ending, everything kind of went back to normal, besides the fact that Peeta had PTSD basically and wanted to kill Katniss every few minutes. They had like 2 kids or something, and that's awesome. But overall, in general, it just impacted my mental health, and that was just me personally. This was more of a personal movie when it came to the Hunger Games. I know a lot of people that really liked the story behind it, and it had a good message and stuff like that. You know, rising up, creating the resistance. But for me personally, I would not watch it again, and I regret watching it because it did impact my mental health poorly. Alright, now we're going to get into this second part of this video, which is basically TV shows and movies I will never watch as a Catholic, and I'm okay with that. So, number 1, we have Lucifer, which I feel like should honestly be a no-brainer, but I had to add it in here. I really don't feel like I have to explain this, but we're going to. Lucifer Morningstar has decided he's had enough of being a dutiful servant in hell and decides to spend some time on Earth to better understand humanity. He settles in Los Angeles, the city of angels. Can I just say, why? Now, this target audience is obviously towards teenagers and young adults, and it really gives you a warped view of the devil, thinking that he is somehow human and able to feel and care for humanity and wants to help us. In reality, we know that that's not true. He's not capable of that. He cannot feel love, he cannot care, he cannot love in general. And this movie really kind of and this TV show really warps that view for younger adults and younger viewers, so that they think the devil is this handsome, you know, gent in Los Angeles, and he's just there to help people and find things out about them. And I honestly can't say I've ever watched an episode or anything like that, but with the commercials that they would air on YouTube and Netflix and stuff, it's evident that a lot of immoral sexual activity goes on through the series. I can't say that for sure because, again, I've never watched it, but it's just really not good. All right, number 2, and I feel like this should be a no-brainer. Cuties. 11-year-old Amy starts to rebel against her conservative family's traditions when she becomes fascinated with a free-spirited dance crew. Now, Trending with Timmery did a podcast about this. Go check it out on Spotify. She explained it very well. I'm basically just going to sum it up. The person who directed this movie, I forget her name, but she basically made this movie to bring awareness to the pressures put on young kids and young adults. She did not go about it the right way. She exploited young minors in her movies. It is not okay. When the girls actually acted in this movie, the main actresses were 10 and 12. 10 and 12! And they had to practice these dance moves and everything, and I just, my heart goes out to these poor girls who had to go through this. And how long until, you know, they come out saying, yeah, we were abused during the film, or nobody protected us, because they have to do this in front of adults. The producers, the parents have to be there legally. And nobody stood up and protected these young girls. Nobody. I'm totally okay going my whole life without watching it. It's immoral, it's inappropriate, it exploits young minors in a sexual way, and I will not stand for that. Number 3 is Game of Thrones. This shouldn't really come as a surprise to anyone. I really don't like Game of Thrones, but we're gonna read the description. 9 noble families fight for control over the lands of Westeros, while an ancient enemy returns after being dormant for a millennia. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a lot about Game of Thrones, and I'd really prefer to keep it that way, but what I have seen through other people talking about it is that there's a lot of nude and sexual and immoral scenes in it. Yeah, so overall, just not a fan. It's just not something that I would suggest watching. Overall, it's just really trashy. And the last one, I can't believe I'm actually putting this on the list because I feel like it's a no-brainer. 50 Shades of Grey. I didn't put the description for this one just because it was too... I'm not even really going to discuss it because it's so disgusting. The thing that I am going to say though is that that is not what love is. If that is what your idea of love is, I might gently suggest a counselor or therapy. And as a little bonus, you guys sent me in some movies, TV shows that you guys regretted watching. If you guys mentioned some that I've already said, I'm not going to actually say them because, well, we already said them. So basically, I'm just going to say the titles. I'm not going to go into the descriptions. But yeah, these are the ones that you guys said you regretted watching. Big Mouth, The Office, Euphoria, The Secret Circle, Criminal Minds, Arrow, Sex Ed, The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, Bachelorette, I said that right, Anime, Nancy Drew, the new one, New Girl, The Nun, Roman Empire, Simpsons, and Magic Mike. Anyways, that's all I have today for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys stay safe out there and start analyzing what you're watching, what you're listening to, and everything, because it truly can impact us, and I know I've said it a million times, but it can. But again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I can only offer insight and guidance, and that's what I've learned from my high school experience and where I am now. Those are the movies I refuse to watch, regret seeing, and probably will never see. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!